Right, on this video I am going to be looking at this Honda Civic 2007 CTDI hatchback problem, which is when I lift up these mats, there's a damp patch right there. It's a very puzzling fault. Of course, I bought this car quite cheap. When I touch the top of the mats, it's dry. When I touch this bit here, which is a bit of rubber matting, it's wet and it can kind of pull as well. I touch underneath, all the metal is solid, it's not rusty out. And here, can't really tell, it's kind of a bit bulged out here, so I'm not really 100% sure whether that's designed by or not. When I feel around here, it's dry. Feel up here, it's dry. When I've had this before in an old car, water would drip down onto my foot from the heat exchanger inside there where you get the heat. Now the heat exchanger inside this car is deep inside. I'm going to call this a priority, trying to fix it or try and investigate it. My options are, if it is a heat exchanger, just to put some sort of radiator leak blocker in there. Just pour a load in there and hopefully it'll block the leak. One solution I've done before in my old car, it worked to an extent, and then I had to pull that thing in the end. But in those days that car was easy to pull the heat exchanger. I feel up here there is a bit of dampness here, but why would the dampness seep through the material at the back here, down, and then come up like that through this rubber? It doesn't even make sense. I can't understand it. So look, this is all interconnected, which is a pain. That thing there, if I can somehow maybe get behind here, this fissure, this plastic behind here, pull this up, maybe I can reach underneath and figure it out. So I am very puzzled. It doesn't smell of antifreeze, which used to be. It doesn't smell. There's no colour to it. It's see-through. My antifreeze at the moment is blue. It's not blue. It's see-through. Is it collected rainwater? First thing I did was to pull underneath, go into the engine bay, pull the housing underneath the wipers. And that's bone dry with some kind of dirty old bits of leaves and twigs in it, but it was bone dry. So was I thinking, was it pooling water upstairs, up there and underneath the wipers? Went to the engine bay, nothing in there. Very odd. Right, so I don't know whether this comes off. This usually, the rubber stuff usually comes off here. So if I can get my hands up there, I can try and maybe I can feel for water. So let's do it. I've just tried using trimmer removers to remove this, and then usually in cars it's like a couple of pegs and then it pops straight out. This is kind of glued in, so I'm not going to wrench it. And I've looked underneath. Under there's like a solidly glued kind of panel on there. So I can't even get to the underneath the carpet. There's also extra problems like this thing here. Look, what on earth? That thing there is metal, and that thing there, it wouldn't come off anyway. I was hoping to reach. They make them very well anyway, but not easy accessible. But anyway, I can reach underneath there. So what would that do? It just tells me there's water. I can see there's water there, so it's pointless. I'm still puzzled how it gets to the surface. Does it seep from underneath? It's when the water's there, it pulls on the top. It doesn't drain away. When I push on it, nothing's coming out. Nothing's coming out at all. When I feel up here, there is some dampness, a slight dampness, not enough to. You'd have thought this would be damper than this. logically, right? And I'm not really losing any radiator water, so wow, what a problem. Not losing radiator problems, don't smell a radiator antifreeze. So give me a few more minutes to think about it. I'll put a sponge to this door because I know I'm going to be in here for a long time. Hits my other car, doesn't do anything. I'm switching off any kind of lights because I don't need it. I need to drain the battery. I'll be opening this door for quite a while. Right. I need to have a little think to see what I got to do about this. When the carpet manages to come out from being tucked away in there, I'm looking for maybe like a water pipe, maybe where the windscreen washer fluid goes. That's what I'm thinking of. Feeling under here. This is damp. It doesn't smell of antifreeze at all. It smells like canal water. Has this car been through a flood? Is it flood damage, and they kind of, the owner panicked and just sold it quickly? But if you look around, there's no signs of flood damage. It doesn't look flood damage, does it? You could not tell it was flood damage. When I picked this carpet up, obviously I looked under the carpet when I bought the car, it was bone dry. It smells more like it's been, smells more like lake water or something. This is damp. And some mould under there. Is it mould? It's mould. It's been going on for a while. Is it just kind of just went and got damaged from the floods and just needs drying out? Definitely smells of canal water, river water or something. But what I don't understand how it seeps through. How it seeps through and out. It seeps through. This is rubber. Seeps through. Sits on top of this. Doesn't make sense at all. That's the only bit I can get to easily. This is not looking like it wants to come out. I mean, as long as it's not a heat exchanger, that's what I'm hoping for. This I can live with, so make a decision in. Right, a lot of the dampness is under here. This piece here is really damp. Now I'm going to get a white bit of tissue to see what colour it is. So it's got a slight blue tinge to it. No, it does not smell of antifreeze. It's quite wet down there. So maybe try carrying on with pulling out the carpet. Is it rain? Is it rainwater? Can it possibly be that it's not draining properly? Usually it's some sort of drainage system and that's all blocked and it's coming straight back in here. It has been raining. It's just a couple of screws that I can take off. Keep investigating. Right, okay. If it was water drain from rainwater, it would drain down the outside onto there and then outwards. There should be no mechanism I can think of in a car that would have the water draining or have a chance of draining through the bulkhead onto. Very noisy, hang on. Right, I can't see. Alright, most of the water is going to drain through here, through there, down there, and run along, and then come out wheel arch area, that kind of area here. Right. So in a minute I've got to do the tracking anyway. I will take this off to investigate it further. The water should come out, and it'll come out here somewhere, out the front, or it might come down here. Out there. It wouldn't drain back into the system. Shouldn't drain back into the compartment. There shouldn't be holes in there. It leads to it. It wouldn't make sense to make it that way. If it was blocked, there'll be water underneath the wiper blades, like on the Ford, not Ford, Vauxhall Corsa I did it. I took all this out, reached in here, and it was bone dry, right? So there's no dampness like you hear, look, it's bone dry. All in there, you can reach in there, all the little twigs and everything that was caught in there were bone dry. So this car, and it's dry on that side, on the left side. It might be wet on the right hand side, then it's possible. So that it makes kind of starting to make a bit more sense now. It's a bit damp around here, and to be honest, but it's not enough to pull water. So the water, the guy who owned it flood damaged it. Went through a lake or something. One side particularly went through a deep, because we did have heavy rains, went through something deep. The water seeped in big time, soaked in, didn't leave any watermarks here, which I would have picked up on. Sat underneath here, which is here. See that? Here is like a sponge that soaked up water. The blueness comes from the blueness of this kind of material. It's drier, wetter there than up here. This is soaking up. This is just helping soaking up the moisture, and it's gone up that way. So when the mat sits on top of it, it's not seeping through the plastic. What it is condensation coming back up, sitting on the mat, and then sitting back down. So there's two ways I can do this. Leave it like this to dry out, because moisture should seep through this fabric, or cut it open, because I can't think of a way easily to take this pedal off. Like these circlips there or anything, it's just like, it doesn't make sense. Like riveted in or something like that. It's like a rivet. I don't feel for any circlips. I'll try an Allen key in a minute. This is preventing it, but I should give it a go now and see if it's an Allen key that undoes this, undoes that. Right, there is a clip just here. It's split. It's one of them push-on ones. It just goes one way. If I take that off, could be problems trying to push it back on. That's the thing. Is it worth it? Spins. You get over there, even things that it's a bit hard to see. So, can I get that off? If I can this come off? If this comes off, I'll rip the carpet over. I mean, the other option, I was thinking of slicing it here neatly, folding it back, drying it that way. There's another option, just leaving the mat on top off, so it naturally dries. Because I can't see water draining in because it's raining. Water draining in won't end up here. That's the thing. I don't think it'll end up here. Definitely doesn't smell of antifreeze. It smells of canal water or something. Lake water or something like that. Thing is, you don't want rust starting on pieces like this, and you would just rust on the inside. So leaving it is not so cool. I don't think it is. Right, let's see if I can get... Right, digging further, when I reach this back, there's a nut that I pulled off here. There's a nut I can't get to here, so I've sliced it open with a sharp blade, and look, when I fold it back over there's nothing there. So here it exposes a nut. So I'm hoping there's only 2 in it, 10mm. The pedal's feeling loose. Might better shed more light once I get this off as well to what really is the problem. Is it flood damage? Right, so what I've decided to do is I reach in here, put all this soaking wet stuff, and that is canal water, river water. I'm not very good noses, but I'm gonna ask a female to check that and try to get that trim off there. There's a little one of these things. It's not easy to come off. Probably I need to take this off, which I don't think I need. What I'm gonna do is in a minute I need to do all other bits and pieces of the car. I'm gonna reassemble this onto there without the nuts. Then when I'm finished doing what I need to do is to lift up the carpet over the weekend, put something underneath like this to air it, and who knows, I might put another bit of material, because this stuff acts as soundproofing, or just put an extra carpet on top probably. This stuff acts as soundproofing, but it's useless now. I got to it quickly before it festered in there and rusted things, so get the things quickly. Be alert with your car. It's the main kind of takeaway from this video. Alright, so I think this car is alright. It wasn't leaking in there. It wasn't leaking up there in the heat exchanger, and that would have been hell trying to get it out. Flood damage, the guy panicked, sold his car. That's why I got cheaper than whether, even though it's a high mileage. So be alert. You can, if I left that would have mean, nothing worse than a car rusting inside out. It'll be still damp, and you'll see there, look, start messing around this contact point here. Whether this is, I don't think it is, but it definitely might start getting to the metal. That's metal. So that would have been game over after a while. But obviously I'll check once it's dry, and if it rains again, it's coming through somehow, then that's something else. It's definitely not coming from above, because the carpet on top was dry. Alright, so please hit the like and subscribe button, leave a comment. Have you ever had a similar have you got similar issues to yours? Can you match your symptoms to mine? Have I helped you solve it? For example, do you smell antifreeze? Just smell the antifreeze in your car. Does it match the antifreeze in here? Does it drip onto your shoes? Alright, thanks for watching.